Floor plan review for the PlayStation VR.
Let's begin!
First up, let's take a look at the gameplay. Floor Plan is a puzzle game where you must travel up and down on an elevator. The main objective is to build an astronaut suit. To obtain parts of the suit, you must travel to each floor and solve puzzles. It plays out very similar to a point and click game, except you can actually grab and hold items. To grab an item, you simply point at it and press a button. To use that item, you point at what you want to use it with and press a button. You will need to use items from one floor to another. To take them with you, you place them on poles to the left of you. The puzzles do start off quite easy, and finding the correct combination isn't too hard thanks to there only being 7 floors you can travel to. They do start to increase in difficulty when you have access to 13 floors. It can appear to be a bit overwhelming having to remember what each floor contains, but luckily there is a visual icon that appears before pressing each button to remind you what each floor's main scenario is. Even though each floor has a very different and unique environment, it is made very apparent that they are all indeed connected. You really do have to observe the surroundings on each floor and take into consideration what is above and below them, as some actions performed on one floor have an effect on another. These puzzles are very creative. For the most part, the solutions are sensible and you do feel a sense of satisfaction when solving them. But there was one that I felt was a bit random and I only solved it through a process of elimination. If you do get stuck, you can press a button on the elevator for a tip. Now let's take a look at how immersive this game is. Every location is very crisp and sharp, and the sense of depth as the elevator doors opens is amazing. Each floor displays very good cartoon textures, and the wacky characters' animations are very well done. It's great watching their smooth animations play out in comical ways, after you have given them a correct item. It really is a reward in itself, as you never fully know what to expect. Each floor has its own music, which really combines well with what you are seeing. It does help to immerse you in each crazy location even more. Also adding to the immersion is cold air that is seen emitting from your mouth when you are on the snow-filled floor. And when you're underwater, bubbles float from your mouth. These little details just make you feel more present in the world itself, and also add to the uniqueness of each floor. There is no loading times once you're inside the elevator. It doesn't take that long at all to go from one floor to another, which is very good considering you will be jumping from floor to floor quite a bit. It ensures that if you get stuck and need to try items on a few different floors, it never becomes tedious or a drag. Now let's take a look at the setup and what controllers the game supports. I played this game in a standing position just over 2 meters away from the camera. The head tracking was perfect and the game did not make me motion sick. I preferred to stand as I was able to peer my head inside each floor and take a good look around. Standing also allows you to physically press the elevator buttons, although most of the time I did just use the automatic reach feature. If you do plan on pressing the buttons yourself, make sure you have a big play area as they are quite far away from the centre of the elevator. The game includes 3 save files, which is a nice addition for families and is something that quite often gets left out of VR games. The game can be played with the DualShock controller or 2 Move controllers. The other controllers are not supported. When playing with the DualShock, you simply look at what you want to interact with and press the X button. Playing with 2 Move controllers is really the better option, as it gives you 2 virtual hands, which always gives you a better sense of presence in any VR game. Now let's take a look at the length of the game and what trophies come with it. It took me around 35 minutes to beat the game, but I did get stuck a couple of times. Sadly, like most puzzle games, there isn't too much replay value here, although after my first playthrough, I didn't achieve all the trophies, and it is very unlikely that anyone would. In total there is 10 trophies that can be achieved. There is 7 bronze, 1 silver, and 2 gold. Some do unlock after you obtain a main item, but some can be missed if you don't take a look at the trophy list before playing. There is a trophy for beating the game in under 10 minutes, but honestly, I doubt anyone would do this on their first playthrough. This really is a speedrun trophy, and you do need great knowledge of each floor and every item's use. And now it's time for the verdict. This is a very enjoyable puzzle game, and is one that puzzle game fans should experience. It is on the short side, but the price is pretty reasonable for such a solid experience. It really is high quality throughout, and the wacky floors did actually remind me a bit of Accounting Plus. Although this world is a lot more family friendly. But don't let the style fool you, there are a couple of puzzles here that are a challenge and demand some clever thinking. The puzzles overall are very fair and have a decent increase in difficulty. Being in an elevator is a great concept for a VR game, as the depth really is amazing when the doors open, and seeing each new scenario is truly a magical experience. If elevators were like this in real life, I really wouldn't mind being stuck in one for days. This really is a short but solid puzzle game, and I'd really love to see a sequel. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PlayStation VR content.